Hello, everybody. Welcome to Awaken Positive Power. Hello, Darcy. This is beautiful
Good
Darcy
morning.
Marta. Good morning. Good morning. And I am Jemima Godsall. And we are
Beautiful,
here
good
to talk to you regarding.
Jemima.
We are here to talk topics such as depression, mental health awareness, and suicide prevention. Heavy topics, but Darcy and I are here to normalize this conversation, coming to you just from a perspective of friends, a little bit of experience, actually more than a little bit sometimes.
More than a little bit.
Just trying to realize, yeah, so you don't feel alone. Like we are not alone. We all have emotions, big or small, and they're all worthy of feeling. I'm a big emotional person, and I suffer from depression, and it's a tough one to deal with when society has sort of labeled us as whatever you pick your word. So here we are, have a different conversation every week. Sometimes we have guest guys who come along and talk about their own experience. Disclaimer, there is a disclaimer down below just in case you have any problems, or if you know anyone who has problems, there is a 1-800 number that you can reach out to. Please know that you can always ring anonymously, or you can always write a question down here. We'll do our best to answer you from a friend perspective. We're not coming professional with you, we're coming from a friend's perspective. Okay, anyway, I'm a little bit emotional today, guys, so Das may sort of take the reins a little bit. We're going to be talking about how we deal with someone in our family, a loved one, who is diagnosed with an illness, a dis-ease. And I've just had some recent news which has sort of blown me sideways. I'm actually just in the process of mourning. There is a process where I'm about to pick up the straps on my boots and go, woohoo, let's go and heal. But right now it's been 3 days, and my the person who has been diagnosed, we're both sort of in a mourning phase, and it's tough. It's very tough, and it's really, I don't know. I feel pissed off with life at the moment. And I'm sorry, universe. I'm sorry. I know I should say I'll cancel that, but I am. I'm just coming out of my own traumatic experience with drugs and a long-term 14-year marriage and all this stuff. And I finally had a gift from the universe, this beautiful love who I've been yearning for my whole life, and it's here. And we get this news, and it's tough. It's very difficult to deal with. So, Das, what's your point? What's your take on this? Help me out. Help
Help me
me.
out, help me out. Well, I mean, I really respect the fact that you are allowing yourself to feel, first of all, I mean, you're calling it your mourning, but I would just say, really be aware of your words that, are we've been trained to use negative perspectives in our assessment of our environment and situation. So
Very true.
instead of saying we're in our mourning phrase over this news, because that denotes the end of something, and I would rather say, we're just processing this emotionally. We're just processing. It's a lot of information. It makes you feel small. It makes you feel powerless. It makes
Powerless, yeah.
you feel like, the universe, the world, society, everything is turning regardless of you, and though that creates big, huge feelings, anger, sadness, frustration, you get overwhelmed. And then, of course, we have to keep going. So we do what we do best, which is to suppress or depress all those big feelings. And then we suddenly say, I can't even get up. I can't even get up. I can't even get out of bed. So good for you for honoring the feelings. So right now, you're just honoring the emotional process of the information you've received. So we're going to get rid of the word mourning.
Yeah.
There's nothing to mourn yet. It's
Yeah.
simply, you're simply experiencing the information emotionally. You're experiencing,
Yeah.
and good for you. And good for you for allowing yourself to do that. You know,
Yeah. I mean, I think that's one thing that I've learnt from my own trauma is, I mean, this person and I can, it's uncanny how the timeliness of our meeting, because how much they're helping me through my recovery, but how
right.
much my tools and my life path is going to help this person is just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's
sorry.
okay. Yeah. I mean, I think that that's actually the power is it's how fortunate that you two met at this point before any disease escalated into an incapacity, if that's even going to happen. You know,
Exactly.
Western medicine really will give you the worst case scenario for their reasons, which is to protect themselves and to get
Yeah.
you to put all your ducks in a row, all right? Which
Yeah.
means, your finances and your how to take care of things and what to do if and all that kind of garbage. So you take care of the garbage and then you don't have to think about it. You just work on the healing. And you don't have to accept their diagnosis.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
don't have to
Exactly.
accept their negative perception, but you do have to take this opportunity to get yourself organized with the idea that that's a possibility. The difficulties could be a possibility, although we're not going to put our energy there, right? Not going to put your energy there. Once you get organized, then you can forget about it,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, that's, I mean, thank God we're both at a stage and a phase, and mine's very fresh. And I mean, actually, more so me in terms of my how I live my life spiritually. And he's been so excited to come on that journey way before this is happening. But how just being challenged with the word death or the end, or and getting the ducks in the road to just in case. And we know, thank God, we're going to lift it up, and after this moment of processing, we know that we're going to put on our boots and go for a massive run and just grab it. And this is a beautiful life lesson to be able to put into practice our healing,
Right.
and probably live longer than I will. Like the irony in that.
Yeah, it's a big possibility, right?
I know,
Right.
totally. It's funny, but just the idea of talking about it and having it just brings that reality of life, and how this is a three-dimensional journey our spirit is on. And it's really, I'm not afraid of my own death anymore because of my situation and my attempt with suicide, but this is a different way of looking at it. And this, I'm scared. I'm really scared.
Yeah.
I don't like
Especially when it's a loved one. I think it's harder when it's a loved one than when it's ourselves. I mean, not I can't obviously speak for everybody, but I know for
it, of
myself
course.
that I'm so used to just coping with whatever my personal challenges are. I've been hit by a car and almost died, and right, that I couldn't walk for a year. And then, that I had another accident years later. I mean, that was years ago. So, I was in New York during September 11th and had a baby. One of the most profound experiences I had was that was the day and the hour that my baby crawled. September 11th happens. I hear this boom. I'm like, uh-oh, that sounds really bad. And my baby decides to crawl. And so here we're experiencing this massive death and this amazing progression that life keeps going
Yeah.
at the same
Yeah.
moment. And I was so stunned by that, grief and joy at the same exact moment. It was really, I can't even describe the how profound that was. So, um, okay. So yes, when you have this a loved one who is facing something difficult, right? It's kind of amazing that you two found each other because your whole thing is about a healing journey. And his whole process has been to work on changing his life by himself. And then he finds this woman who's on this healing journey. He says, hey, it resonates with me. I'll go along with you. And it's a really amazing thing that you found each other when you did. And so you truly get to walk your talk. You get to walk your talk both with the physical healing, the emotional healing, and the spiritual healing. And you get to do that together in real time. And it's not like you get to walk into somebody else's house, you don't know them, and say, I'm here to help you and make you feel better. And then you get to walk away, and there they are still processing what you brought to them. You got to really take this with each other on a cellular level, excuse the pun, and live it. And how profound. How
Can I
profound.
ask? I believe it. Yeah, it is profound. But I'm just, I think, because right, it's in your early news, but I'm
Mhm.
stuck in. Feel stuck in. I'm in it. I was just saying this to you before, but I didn't say it to
Yeah.
these guys here. I'm finding myself being a really I am in depression right now. Before this was happening, falling into it, and I'm working with it. It's been challenging this round because it's the first time we were discussing last week. First time sitting. Oh no, I was discussing with someone else. So many people who are helping. That this is the first time I'm sitting within myself, with the trauma is within. First time since I've been sober, because all of the other traumas has been external. The car crash, this, that, and it's so true. This is the first time I'm sober, sitting with this uncomfortable ickiness, and it sucks. And so I'm trying to process this whole thing of not liking myself, the inner battle of the demon who comes out and blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. And it's been so challenging. And then this comes along, and I had a moment where I was going, oh, not to say thank God, that brings me out a little bit, because I then see what is important in life, but
Right.
I can't seem to help it, but it's making me more depressed, and it's
Yeah.
awful, because I don't want to be that to him. He needs. I'm not saying I'm going to do the whole time. Of course not. I want to
No,
be
of course
100%
not.
authentic still. But how do you deal? How do I not let this bring me down even more when I'm so freaking depressed already?
I think that, yeah, wow, that's such a huge, enormous challenge. And,
Yeah.
well, first of all, it's going to be, we're going to use the word challenge. It's a challenge.
Okay.
And second of all, the word love is going to be your operative word. You're going to work
Yeah.
with up from a perspective of love. And when your depression gets really overwhelming, you're going to say, where can I find love at this moment? That's the priority. So when I get
Okay.
deep into my personal muck and my awful, huge, overwhelming feelings, I need to be able to say to myself, I love this other person. And I love the fact that I am in this moment with this other person. And I love the fact that I have been given so much power in my body. You've overcome so much. You have so much strength and power in you that you need to allow yourself to love that part of you, because that's what you're sharing with him. And your failings of vulnerability, or if you want to look at it as failings, no, let's erase that word too. Your difficulties of dealing with your emotions are a part of your strengths. So we don't want to see these big feelings as bad. We don't want to see these big feelings as a weakness. We just want to see these big feelings as a release of energy. So when the gunk comes up and you're overwhelmed, you just tell your loved one, I need to take a break. I need to go meditate. I need to go take some time for myself. I need to go to bed. I need to go do my work. And really honor your feelings and let yourself feel what you feel. It doesn't mean that you're weak. It doesn't mean that you're not this enormously strong person that you are, right? And so just you got to have that word love in front of you, and you got to write those sentences out that go
Yeah.
with that, right? So when your feelings are overwhelming, you got to say, okay, where is my love right now? Where is the love right now? Because that's your source of
Well, I know
strength.
what. Yeah, I know what's been challenging is our awareness has been beautiful, because we can see what we're not meant to be doing. Because the challenge over the last few weeks, last few days, has been my reaction, and I realized last night we had a major sort of fallout per se, beautiful in a way, because we're both sort of able to talk about where we're coming from, but realizing that I'm just so angry with this is my depression, so angry with some things that in my situation right now, particularly myself. And then now this news, I'm pissed off with life giving us this news, and so I'm projecting it onto my beautiful person, which is not his fault at all,
Right.
and vice versa. He's pissed off with the world and pissed off that I have depression, and daggers come at me, and so we're fighting. And I thought, this, we can't do this to each other. Like,
Right.
we love, like, it's not what love is about, and this is not. I'm not going to do this again, ever again, and
Right.
vice versa. He's the same. Been in troubled relationships too, and granted, it's a pattern of behavior we're trying to break, because this is the first true love that we can have an opportunity to not do this. But to see it in work and see this, and I was like, this is just, I'm just angry, blaming you unconsciously for this fuck up. Pardon my language, YouTube. And it's
Well,
so depressing.
yeah, no, give yourself a break. I mean, blame is a part of it. Hearing your words is important. Forgiveness is important. When you say it and get it out, then it lets go. Damn it, why did you have to get sick right now? What the hell did you do that for? Everything was on a track. Oh, we had it all so good, and now we have to deal with this, you stupid son of a bitch. Right? It's like, and then we go, of course, that's just a reaction. Of course, that's just a reaction. Good thing you reacted and got rid of that, as opposed to
Yeah,
stashing it and letting it come out in behavior. It's
yeah,
okay. This is requiring a lot of forgiveness, a lot of compassion. Compassion for yourself and compassion for each other. He's got to give
yeah,
himself and you know what? If it really gets into like pick at each other, take a break, walk away, go into your room,
yeah,
go into your bed, go into the outside, go sit and meditate. Like you were saying, you have a lot of tools right now. And so this is your challenge, is to utilize your tools and to decide, okay, I've got this depression I struggle with. This means that I'm owning it and I'm working with it and I'm releasing it and I refuse to let it own me. And I will do my practice, my morning practice, my afternoon practice, and my nighttime practice. I will practice and practice. Take a break. If you notice that you're taking stuff out on each other, say, hey, you know what?
yeah,
Let's come back to this conversation later. Let's come
yeah.
back to this
He's the
conversation later.
one who's like that. That's where I'm very fortunate, because I'm not the one saying that this time. And it's
Hmm.
just like, oh my God, thank you. Like, because I'm forgetting to stop and and take control of, or see the love in front of me. And it's that ripple
Yeah,
effect, which
I'm
is what
telling you, you got to write stuff down and put it right in front of you. Make a poster, or make a picture, write the words out. The other
yeah,
thing I was going to say is really pay attention to your language. And this is a big
yeah,
issue I have. So, one of the things I want to hand to you is this idea is I want you to get rid of the word fight and battle when you discuss illness. So instead of saying we're going to fight this together, we're going to meet this battle head on, we're going to go through this together, we're going to fight with all we got, get rid of it. Honest to
yeah,
God, we hand people who are that are coping with an illness when they feel their weakest and we say, okay, I want you to fight. Are you kidding? I don't want to fight anybody right now. I want to relax. I need some support. I need someone to give me some cozy hugs, not make me go out and do a boxing match, for God's sakes, or swords. I don't want to go do a battle. I mean, the imagery in your head of the words fight and battle is not conducive to
yeah,
healing.
totally.
Why do we use that?
Yeah,
It's wrong. I mean, literally, if I'm going to use one of my negative words I have a problem with, saying the word wrong, this is an application. I apply it to this. So you want to fight? No, you want to heal. So anytime, it comes up, look, we're going to do this together. We're going to heal together. We're going to move through this together. We're going to process this together. We're going to work on this together. Whatever words are inspiring for you is what you need to share. And share this with him. Go and tell him this. When he
Yeah.
talks to his doctor, he's not using the words fight, not using the words battle. He is using the positive idea of, you know, healing and dealing. I'm dealing with this so I can heal from it. That's my favorite phrase. Healing and dealing. I'm dealing with this and I'm healing from it. And you're healing in body, mind, and spirit. So, whatever the physical process that's coming to you is allowing you to heal emotionally and heal spiritually. The body is creating a process for you both right now to heal emotionally and heal spiritually. And as you do that, perhaps the body does not need to suffer so greatly. Perhaps it does. I don't know what his path is. Perhaps it doesn't. But understanding healing and dealing, love and compassion is a much better place to be in than fighting a battle, I think.
Totally.
Right, right. And these are the things I suggest you write it down and put it in front of you. Put them in front of you because you will have to be reminded daily. You will have to be reminded. You'll have to remind each other daily. Hey, we're dealing with this. Good for us. What? We're dealing with this as a couple. Wow, that's like remarkable. We're dealing with this as a couple. We're really healing from a lot of our past baloney.
Mhm.
Wow, as a couple, that's really exciting. Oh my God, what a bummer, but yay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's always going to be a challenge to move through that perspective. And you and forgiving yourself for having your big feelings because your big feelings are your energy that
Yeah.
supplies you with the strength to keep doing it.
Yeah.
That's a really important thing to realize.
Yeah.
Your big sadness and your big anger are fueling you because that's big energy and that's fueling you to keep moving forward in a healing direction. And that's a source. That's a big wonderful source and so good for you. Okay? I think that's amazing. And as much as I can say I'm sorry that you have to go through this, I'm so grateful that you are going through this with someone so dear because it allows you both to have a greater level of the understanding of what love is, right? A lot of us kind of just go on the surface with it, but boy, are you really getting a dose of truth, a big dose of it. So, yeah, working through it. You're working through it. All right. Yeah. Please remember to write that down.
I will
Healing and
definitely.
dealing, dealing and healing. Right? No battles to fight here.
Yeah.
I had to I did some hypnobirthing with a woman once a long time ago and she's not a religious person at all and she did not want to hear anything to do with God or any of that kind of stuff. Like I said, sure, I don't need to tell anybody how to think. And so we found the terminology that worked for her, and one of the things we worked on was to get rid of the word pain and the word contraction. I'm like, we're not using contractions and we're not using pain. We're going to use birth surge and and
That one.
sensation because that's what you're having. Yeah, your body's contracting, but really what it's doing is coming together to push itself
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
different direction. It's a birth surge. It's
yeah.
a surge of your muscles in your body to move in this direction. So it's a birth surge. And instead of having pain, we're just going to call it a sensation. We're going to, and that way we can relax around the concept of sensation, of,
Mm.
yeah, of pain. We can, if you say the word pain, I'm in pain, what happens?
You
You
feel it.
tighten. You tighten up. You feel it and you tighten it up. Not only do you tighten up, but you feel it and then it seems to amplify it because we tighten up. Right. If we say, what's that sensation? What am I experiencing in this moment? And where is it in my body? And can I relax through it and breathe into it? Right? That it
Yeah.
doesn't become so overwhelming. Right. And I used to practice this with the kids. I never used the word pain. You know, I used to say, where is it? Let's breathe into it. Look at the leg is fine. We're going to relax around that, you know, that kind of thing. Um, and so I got this woman. This is a great example. I got her so relaxed. We were in the hospital. She was having her birth surges. She was managing her sensations. The room was calm. The lights were dim. Her loved one was with her. We were so groovy in there, waiting for the baby to come out. And then, boom, the door opens, the lights flip on, the doctor
Oh,
comes in and says, "How's your pain? How's your
oh,
pain right now?
oh
How do you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?" I mean, she was so abrasive. And my client goes, "It's terrible! Oh no!" Oh my God, she just like flipped into it,
yeah,
flipped
wow.
right into it. And I just like, I've just
Oh,
spent the
wow.
last 4 hours getting this woman in this groovy place, and she busted it in a matter of seconds. It's outrageous.
Proof is in
So,
the pudding. Like exactly a snap to out of that conscious awareness of calm and meditate, how you perceive it, and then that light, boom, boom, boom. Well, it's amazing that, no offense to any medical workers out there, I appreciate all the work you do,
oh,
but it's
not at
amazing
all.
it's not part of the training with a lot of the medical colleges and stuff. Is they use the word pain and stuff like that, and they have that abrasive sort of nature. I guess I know it's a tough job, but oh,
Yeah,
I don't know.
because they're going from one person to next. It's like boom, 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 boom,
Yeah,
boom. And
yeah,
you know, I mean, after I had my baby, I had some complications in
yeah.
birth,
I was
as
there.
you remember. You were there. And he was in infant ICU, and I was upstairs in my bed recovering from my C-section, right? And I had a lot of edema, a lot of leg swelling. And this doctor comes in. She's just the assessment doctor. And she goes, "I have to check your edema." I'm like, "Okay." And she just starts poking me with the coldest hand.
Oh,
I'm
bless.
like, it's like, I don't know who you are. And you just come in here and you just start poking me. And I'm like, wow, we just don't have the ability to take the time for healing.
Yeah,
So, you know, we have to change our word. You have to change your words. Don't
yeah,
expect them to because it's
yeah, yeah,
insidious in our language.
yeah.
It's insidious in our approach to medical
Sure is.
practicing.
Sure is.
And so, you know, you are amazing. You have more energy than any human being I know.
Doesn't feel like it right now. Doesn't. I
Yeah.
think it's. Thank God I'm a gym instructor, or if Pilates and fitness is spin instructor, because this last week it has. My clients hate me. Let's just put it that way. And what a great way to remain, to get rid of my anxiety, but also to physically have that energy surge around. I mean, what a blessing that I've discovered this as my career, as my passion, as a craft that helps me so profoundly, as much as other people. But right now, this week, and I have live classes, Black at live classes. Like, damn, it's so good to just be, to have had that anger. I mean, and my love went back to work. You know, I mean, of course, life goes on. But I was like, got a lot of time by myself in my situation right now, and I was going, God, I'm gonna like think way too much. I've got to go and release. Yeah, keep moving that body, guys. Move your body. it just helps release a lot of the depression, the anxiety, the tension, the unknown stuff. It's just like
Right.
a gasp of fresh air, you know. So
You know, and if you have time by yourself, now is the time to write that stuff out and put it up. Make your
yeah,
posters, make your symbols, make your affirmations and practice them. I had a week I was so busy with school and Omicron and the kids and taking my own kid back to college into his apartment and boosters and tests and all this stress and work with my husband and blah 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 blah. I didn't do my morning prayers
oh
for like
wow,
4 days.
that's huge for
I,
you.
I would get it because my dogs were getting up really early. They were getting up at 5, and I was going to bed too late. And I had to get up at 5, and I was so tired I would go back to sleep for an half an hour. I'm like, oh, good, I have a half an hour. I'm going to go back to sleep. And then I'd wake up and go, oh, I got to get ready for work. So I didn't have the time to do my morning ritual. And
Yeah,
I
huge
saw
difference.
huge difference. My perspective was snippy.
Yeah,
I was exhausted. I didn't have that calmness in me. I had little tolerance for myself or others or my dogs. My dogs are really needy right now.
yeah, definitely. So is my cat. Something in the air. My cat's so extremely needy.
So
You know,
needy.
so
Well, they sense what we're going through.
true, true.
So
Yeah.
whenever I'm in a fuss, my dog is so needy.
The
You
last
heard
thing
him
you want.
last night, right? Did you? Oh no, it wasn't you. I wasn't talking to. I was talking to a friend on the phone, and my dog started doing his whine. The
Oh.
whine. It goes like this.
Oh no.
Oh,
Drama.
it's really.
Drama.
And she said, "Is that a baby?" I'm like, "No, it's my dog." It's like my dog.
That's so funny. Bless him. Characters,
So
aren't they?
yeah. So I'm gonna pull a card for you and Chris right now. Okay,
Okay.
but I'm gonna do a different one. So we're gonna just take a moment to read something a little bit deeper. Okay.
Beautiful.
And you have a good plan to help you deal. You have a good strength to help you heal. It's lovely that you guys are together, working together.
Yeah.
And
That's the gift.
it's such a gift. It's such a gift that he found you at this time,
Oh, such a gift. I found him too. Thank,
right?
thanks God for the trauma that brought me here. Like, you know, just the whole step. We're looking at the path of it. We think, God, you cannot make this up. You cannot make this up. There's no, as my mum said this morning, coincidence is spirit or your God coming and making itself present, but anonymously. And I was like, that is just genius. I thought that's so true. And when we look at this little path, short path so far, but deep and intense, it's just magic, magic.
So I'm using today Sacred Path cards
Beautiful. I haven't
by
seen them.
Jamie Sams.
Okay.
It's the same one who does the medicine,
Yeah.
animal medicine cards. This one. Wait. Oh, I love these cards. The animal
Yeah.
medicine cards by Jamie Sams. Okay, it's the same person. Um, but this one is about um, actual teachings or lessons that you can apply
Okay.
um, for self discovery and, self mastery. Right, self mastery.
Not
But,
very
self
original.
discovery is a little easier. And not only that, they're beautiful stories. And they're amazing lessons. So today, I pulled for you Burden Basket.
How ironic. I swear
Self
every week you cannot make this stuff up. Just it's just crazy. All right.
Self-Reliance.
So oh God, okay. All right.
Self-Reliance, and there it is, Burden
Oh,
Basket.
all right. I'm 34. Okay.
Self-Reliance, Burden Basket. So I just want to read that to you if I can.
Yeah, please.
Now, this book, I love this book. I mean, this set of cards so much. I've used them for years. A friend of mine gave them to me when I was in my 20s,
Wow.
which is
Wow.
a long time ago.
I didn't mean to go, wow, wow, that's ages ago. Like,
Really?
okay.
That long ago?
I didn't mean that.
Wow, they're
Sorry.
really old cards, huh?
I was about to say they don't look that worn. Sorry, Das.
But
Anyways,
I treat them with a lot of love and respect because when I'm at my most depressed,
yeah.
I pull a card and I really pay attention to the lesson in these cards. They're always applicable. They always blow my mind, and it's always something that I can actually do and practice. I think that they are amazing. So we picked Burden Basket. Okay, you ready? So
Yeah.
he puts a little poem before the actual story. So Burden Basket carries my grief and gives me the strength to go on. Burden Basket reminds me not to take my burden into other people's homes. Burden Basket sings to me when the winter is long, remind me of summer's heat, bringing warmth to my ancient bones. Okay.
Gosh.
In in Jamie Sam's Native American tradition, there is little use for the burden basket in modern times. Um, so the traditional burden basket has been replaced by cardboard boxes stacked in the back of a reservation pickup truck. Uh, and in looking at the original uses for the burden basket, we have to travel to the times when people were themselves on Mother Earth without restriction of fences. Okay. Okay, before the Trail of Tears forced the proud red race onto reservations, wood could be gathered by women for their cooking fires or the grandmother fires to heat the insides of their lodges. These heating fires received their names because the wood was small enough for even a grandmother to carry and was placed in a burden basket, leaving the hands free to gather and carry tubers or chokeberries or herbs for cooking. A grandmother fire was like a twig fire and it burned hot with very little smoke, which might fill the lodge and eventually the lungs of the inhabitants. So if you're in a tent and you have a little tiny hot fire in the middle without a lot of smoke. The grandmother fire heats the lodge even in winter and provides the needed warmth and light for nighttime activities such as the evening meal, or sewing, beating moccasins. Native women were never asked to bear a burden heavier than their burden baskets could handle. I love that. When the burden basket was not at use, it was hung outside of the home for another reason. Native American etiquette is very different from other cultures, and it demanded that custom be honored. So it is obvious that the fly trap of a teepee cannot be knocked on like a door. You can't knock on it like a door, right? It's a tent. So to receive permission to enter a sacred space of any Native American home, it was necessary to scratch lightly upon the door. Since every dwelling was the sacred space of the family, if there was no answer, entry was not permitted. The family could be having a meal or having a family council or just wanting some privacy. So if you were not invited in, you did not go in. The decision was always honored. No feelings were hurt because of the idea of sacred space. If permission was to enter was granted, the burden basket was a reminder to the guests to leave their personal complaints or problems in the burden basket before entering another person's space. So if you were going to come and meet somebody, if you had amazing amounts of burden, you would visualize and put it or use a symbol and put it there. The custom was honored or the visitor was barred from entering the dwelling again. Assistance. Assistance in relief of a burden was sometimes given at the home of elders. This practice was an exception to the rule of leaving all the burdens outside the door. To seek counsel, one would go to the elder, relative, or medicine person and bring a gift um, or another appropriate gift depending on the magnitude of the favor being requested. So if they had a big burden and a big request, they would bring a big gift. The meeting was not usually held in the presence of others, and the person seeking counsel had to wait 3 days for the decision from the elder. On the fourth day, the answer would be given. And during the 3 day waiting period, the wise person whose counsel was sought would smoke the answers or dream the solution, however they needed to visualize it. And although these wise elders were not required to say more than yes or no, they usually used the opportunity to give a teaching through a storytelling. If Great Mystery had determined that the seeker's burden was to be carried further in order for a life lesson to be learned, that was accepted to allow the lesson to build character. Unlike many seekers in today's world who seek and then refuse advice, the instruction of a wise person in Native America were sacred and holy. In tribal law, the burden of finding answers rested on individuals and their ability to be connected to the ancestors and medicine helpers, right? If a seeker sought counsel, the wisdom given was honored to the letter. So if you go and ask for help and they say, this is what you must do it. Burden baskets serve people in many ways as utilitarian carriers for wood, herbs, etc., food. They assisted women in keeping the camp in good order. And as guardians of the home, they were a reminder to respect the happiness and privacy of each other's sacred space. When the burden basket was hung outside, it reminded each visitor of the strength of character needed to set aside personal problems and to enter one another's home with a black cloud of worry or neediness was considered poor manners. To be present in the moment and to be willing to welcome guests also requires character. Self-reliance is the keynote in all of the burden basket's teachings. Physical strength is best supported by using leverage and body's appendages to balance the number of baskets we carry. To have compassion for the burdens of others and yet not take on those burdens as your own requires a strong heart. Strength of character is called for in order to keep from adding to the problems of others through gossip or complaints. Great sensitivity is necessary for impeccable timing and knowing when and how to speak to others. Personal balance brings the self-reliance we need to be present and in present time. Inner strength is created through trusting our personal knowing and only seeking counsel when we have exhausted all other paths. If you are carrying a burden basket today, this card is telling you to pull from your inner strength and become self-reliant. You can conquer the world when you let go of the burdens by trusting your ability to find your own answers. Problems cease to be burdens when solutions are found. The burden basket also teaches us not to drop our woes at the door of another. Relying on ourselves and our connection to great mystery teaches us to stretch into our potential. If confusion sets in and counsel is sought, use your advice. Don't waste the time of others if you do not intend to respect the counsel and the wisdom offered. Know that it is also not your job to solve the problems of others. Don't rob the others of their right to self-reliance. In all cases, we carry the burdens we wish to carry. It makes us feel good or important to have so much to handle. We might need to look at our ideas of self-importance. The reminder is that we are all self-reliant and must use our talents to find our own solutions. The best answer is one shared equally by all travelers on this sacred path. It's amazing. So all I want to tell you is we talked about some techniques today for you to utilize. I appreciate you sharing, and that's one of the things that we are teaching others is how to share your big feelings, how to share it without dumping on each other, and not I don't expect you to solve my big feelings. I'm simply sharing with you, and we've agreed that this is what we're doing. We're trying to normalize that for others. We also talked
And
about.
I too today,
Mhm.
I was just going to say, I too today respect your advice, and I'm going to actually do it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to disrespect your words of possible healing tools, and just go thanks. I'm actually going to constructively take that on and respect what's given to me. Whatever will work will work. But I'm not going to. So I think that's really an important lesson too. Like, you can hear people and go thanks, but actually taking on the healing tools of others and then sifting what works, what doesn't. And I
Right.
will respect you, Darcy. And I'm looking forward to actually doing my vision board or my positive affirmation board today.
Great. And I was also going to say that, you started out by saying today, like, you have all these big feelings and you don't want to make it worse for him, your big feelings, right? Absolutely. And you can take that time to take your sacred space, to say, I need to go take that moment. I, I'm going to just overload on him and I don't want to dump on him. Or I'm feeling angry. I'm going to just take a step aside right now, take a step aside, and then I'm going to do whatever I need to do to manage, honor, forgive, express, release all those big feelings so that when I can come back to him, it can be in a
Yes.
healing, compassionate, loving zone, and realize that there is nothing for you to be ashamed of or angry at yourself for feeling. Everything you're feeling is totally appropriate. It is understandable, and you feel it. So yeah, so take the time to feel it without, and you now know that you don't have to worry about dumping on him. You now have one more tool. You can create a burden basket today. Create
Yeah.
it. And if you want to go see him and your feelings are too big, you can either put your feelings in the basket for a moment and go see him, or you can say, I am carrying too much today.
All right.
And I'm going to go set that down for a while, and then I'll come back to you in just a minute. That's a great idea to utilize. So, wow, thanks. Thanks, Jamie, once again. Woohoo! I love those books. I love that.
Timing impeccable. It's just
So,
amazing.
I hope
Thank
that
you,
was
Darcy,
okay
so
for me
much
to
for
read all
your
that.
words of.
I hope that
Oh
was
yeah,
okay. Oh,
brilliant. Like more
okay.
than you. And
Those
I,
stories
I
are
I look
long.
forward to yeah.
Mhm.
Um, okay, people, if you have any questions or concerns or anything like this going on for you too, please know you can reach out to us, and
Please
I'm
do.
living it. So so you're not alone. And if this upsets you in any way, from triggers you in any way, please know, as Darcy says, write it down, get it out there. If you don't want to write to us, you don't have to burn it, give it to Mother Nature. Do anything that can make you sort of release it, because these are tough topics, and but we
Right?
love you just the same. Please don't forget, I hate, like, share, subscribe. I know, got to be done. We love you. Peace out, Darcy. I love you. Mwah. You're
Jemima,
amazing.
I
Thank
love you so
you.
much. And everybody, send us your comments. Peace.
Peace,
Bye.
peace, peace. Bye.